Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Erin Schwartz, and I'm the B2B Marketing Manager here at iHire. I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar, How to Manage and Motivate Remote Teams. In a moment, I'll turn it over to our speaker, Lori Cole, Customer Success Manager at iHire. Lori is a certified career advisor with over 20 years of experience in staffing and recruiting in the online world. She built a successful temporary staffing firm, then transitioned into full-time recruiting in the construction and real estate industries. She is one of the co-founders of iHire and has been an early adopter of technology's use to optimize the web when it comes to the ever-evolving nature of the employment industry. At iHire, Lori directs the customer success team, the outplacement team, and the career advisor team. Just a couple quick notes before getting started. During the presentation, please feel free to submit questions at any time using the Q&A tool at the bottom of your screen, and we will answer your questions live at the end of our presentation. Also, keep an eye out tomorrow for an email with a recording of the webinar. And with that, I'll turn it over to Lori.
Thank you so much, Erin. I'm sure that many of you have been working from home for the first time. I have been too, but this is not my first rodeo. I have done it on and off my entire career, and I have to say that this experience has been the best one of my life. I have absolutely loved it. I feel like I'm thriving here. I'm very focused and productive, but I know that that's not the same for some of the team members that I interact with every day. Before COVID-19, 5 million employees, or 3.6% of the workforce, worked from home at least half of the time. And after COVID, 16 million workers have started working remotely. So whether you're a work from home pro or completely new to remote work, managing a remote team and keeping them motivated is challenging, especially during these unprecedented times, when your employees too are adjusting to the whole work from home life. They're juggling their family, kids, home from school, spouses that maybe either lost their jobs or they're working from home as well. And everybody's just trying to stay positive during a global pandemic. So how do you supervise a team that you don't see in person every day? And how do you keep your team productive and engaged? Today, we're going to talk about selecting the right tools to stay connected using video, creating and implementing a communication strategy, building trust amongst your team, recognizing staff and encouraging camaraderie, and focusing on outcomes and successes. Identify and select the right tools. When iHire went completely remote, we allowed our employees to bring anything home from the office that they thought would help them be more productive and more efficient, including their monitors, their headsets, their docking stations, even their desks and chairs. So make sure your team is equipped with all of the right tools, a laptop or a computer, a dual monitors, which I could not live without, headset and a webcam, messaging platform, shared drives, VPN access, IT support as needed, and Zoom or other video conferencing solutions. Use video whenever possible. We've seen stories about employees forgetting to turn off their video cameras during Zoom meetings. You've got kids running around in the background, spouses going through, people interrupting conference calls, dogs barking. We all know that video calls can be very daunting, but they're super essential in connecting with your team and managing and motivating them. 87% of remote team members feel more connected when they're using video conferencing. Utilize video communication versus voice only whenever you can. It helps to maintain that personal connection, and it makes people feel less isolated. Also consider that 65% of communication is nonverbal. Video strengthens that line of communication. If anyone doesn't have video capabilities for whatever reason, encourage them to display their photo within the video conferencing software. I know I encourage my people to have their photo and not just that little black and white tile in the Zoom meeting. And lead by example. If you are using and encouraging video with every meeting, your team will be less reluctant to follow suit. You can also make it fun with virtual background competitions. And this has entertained the iHire staff during many meetings. We have show and tell days. Sometimes our backgrounds are pictures of our kids, our pets, places we've been to on vacation. And I know that my favorite background is a pool at a sandals resort. We can also talk about more of the fun stuff that we try to do later during some of our meetings. Create a communication strategy. Since you don't have the luxury of turning around in your chair and asking someone a quick question or sitting around a traditional conference table with your team and working out solutions, we recommend that you meet with your team daily. We do even a quick 15-minute meeting in the morning, and those are called scrums. So departments that have smaller teams can do these scrums. And of course, they're virtual. The scrum meetings are a concept that began in the software development world, but they can easily be applied in different lines of business, such as marketing and sales and customer service. And it's a great way to start your workday with your team. The goal of these meetings is to go around the screen and have each team member identify what they achieved the previous day, what they hope to achieve today, and any impediments that they may be experiencing. Assign a note taker for the scrum. We keep ours in a running document called a wiki, and that way anybody who wasn't able to join for the day doesn't miss a beat. You can also designate one of your weekly meetings to serve as a check-in or a recap of a specific ongoing project. For our team, our scrums on Friday are a retro of our week. So we talk about what went well this week, what didn't go so well this week, and how we're going to improve on that next week. Don't shy away from discussing impediments with your team. There are bound to be so many more challenges because everybody is working from home. So the quicker you know about those challenges, the more attention you can bring to it and quickly find a solution. Schedule weekly one-on-ones with your team. Use these meetings not only to discuss current projects and goals, but to also take a pulse of the employees. Ask them about their current responsibilities and workload, and don't forget to ask them questions about home and what's going on in their life. I know that my team really appreciates that. If you do get a sense that one of your team members is over capacity, then you can ask them questions like, is there something that you wish you could offload to another team member? Could I help you reprioritize some of your projects? And how can I help you? So empathy goes a long way, and my team does not hesitate to tell me when I can jump in and help them, and I appreciate that. You can maintain project lists on a shared drive or a central document or a spreadsheet, and on that project list, make sure that you're including specific deadlines and hold teams and individuals accountable for those deadlines. Consistently reinforce goals and strategic focus. In these times, company and team goals can quickly change, as you probably have all experienced. We've all had to be very agile and flexible. At the same time, employees, especially those who are new to working from home, may struggle to prioritize those projects. So lay out specific goals and refer to them when you find your team is overloaded. or disengaged, or just simply unsure of where to focus their efforts. Overcommunicate. Be responsive, available, and transparent. You never want your team to feel like they are isolated and they don't know who to turn to with questions or challenges. Use different communication mediums such as IM, text, phone, video calls, but understand each employee's preferred method and never make an employee feel uncomfortable if they prefer one method over another. And my team uses all of these throughout the day to communicate with me. You can also check in informally with other team members, even those that you don't directly oversee, just to say a quick hi or how are you doing. That can really mean a lot to help maintain connections with people that you don't see every day at the office anymore. I know that since this has all started for me personally, it helps me feel really connected with the other teams in my office because we don't hesitate to pick up our Microsoft Teams app, do a quick video call with somebody, just do a quick call. It's super easy and it does really help you to feel connected. Build trust with your team. Remote work requires a higher level of trust between managers and employees. And the lines are blurred even more today with work and home and everything that's just going on in our environments. Folks are working non-traditional hours to accommodate for the kids, and the 9-to-5 grind really doesn't apply right now. So focus less on hours worked and focus more on the work that's getting accomplished, and let your employees' results speak for themselves. Avoid virtually micromanaging. Keeping running tabs on projects, deadlines, goals, and over-communicating can really help you to avoid micromanaging. Acknowledge that everyone has unique work from home challenges, especially those who usually would have childcare and now their kids are at home, not to mention their spouses at home, kids, parents, roommates. So you just have to really embrace the flexibility. It's a new normal for all of us. We're all trying to navigate this together. Giving your team some flexibility in how and when they work is critical to building their trust and ensuring job satisfaction. And I've really seen the attitude change of people that I'm doing video calls with outside of our company. People are more accepting of dogs barking in the background and kids playing in the background. So I like that change of how this is becoming a more normal thing to be working from home. Recognize and reward your employees. The old way of recognizing, like bringing a box of donuts to work, really doesn't work right now. Unless you're going to hand deliver those donuts to the doorstep, and I've had that request. However, employee recognition is even more important when teams are remote, and it's harder to keep staff engaged and to help them to feel excited about every workday. Recognition also helps a lot with employee retention. And it can be as simple as a little email or an IM shout out for a job well done in the virtual work environment. You could also send an e-gift card, such as a $5 coffee card. These little gestures go a long way. And recognize folks by your company-wide social recognition platform. There are plenty of platforms available out there that you can tap into. At iHire, we've built our own social recognition platform, and employees can recognize one another for great work. When an employee is recognized, the entire company gets an email notification, and the employee is added to a dashboard for everyone to see. And then once a month, the person that was recognized and also the person that nominated them or recognized them is eligible to go into a drawing to win a gift card. And that keeps morale high and encourages peer-to-peer recognition for others within the company. Encourage recognition between teammates and across teams. Recognition isn't just limited to managers and employee relationships. Recently, one of the managers I work closely with received a $5 gift card and a very nice handwritten note in the mail from somebody that was outside of her team. And that just went a long way. It made her feel great. And we've talked about these small gestures can really go a long way to encouraging and keeping morale high. Encourage time off. And this is not just for your staff, but for you too. And I know that I've been guilty of this. It can be so easy to fall into the same routine when your team's working remotely, and that can lead to burnout. Encourage your staff to take time off, even if it's taking a half a day on a Friday, and they'll return to their desks more productive and less stressed. Encourage camaraderie and friendships. Working remotely can be lonely, especially if you're accustomed to seeing your colleagues in the office every day. And think about your staff members who might be single, who don't have any other interaction outside of this quarantine other than the people that they're seeing on Zoom every day or on the meeting apps every day. Managing and motivating employees in remote teams doesn't have to be business all the time. You need to interject some fun into the workday, or at least have ways to keep teams productive and feel like they're not getting burned out. Some ideas for this is, one is a virtual happy hour, which I'm hosting our virtual happy hour tonight for our company. You can also allow team members who usually aren't in leadership positions to lead an activity during these virtual happy hours or the virtual meetings. With our virtual happy hour tonight, we're playing a game. We are playing bingo, and I found the cards on flippity.net. And they had several different free games that you can play online, and it was really cool and easy to set up. But we've also played games like, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And you divide up in teams and have a trivia contest. We've had show and tell. We've had bring your kids to the virtual happy hour. So it's really cool to see what everybody's lives are outside of the office and from their home environment. And use your IM or your chat as your new water cooler. You can share some really fun photos with your teams. You can also link to useful or funny articles. I know my team has gotten very good at generating memes that are specific to whatever situation we might be going through that day. So that's kind of a fun competition that we've started too. Focus on outcomes. These are really unique times that we're living and working in. Flexibility and empathy are just key to helping your employees thrive. Therefore, focusing on outcomes will help put things into perspective. Successful completion comes from successful planning. Develop and communicate your project plans and set specific goals and hold individuals accountable. And finally, embrace KPIs and the data-driven environment. A KPI, or a key performance indicator, are important points of reference for the whole team. And by tracking them visibly, you can unite your team around a shared goal and help everybody keep the right priorities in mind. Depending on what you need to track, there are a lot of different programs out there that you can use to create shareable dashboards. We use Timber, but there's also iDashboard and KPI Fire. And those are just some examples of the systems you can use. Once you've set up your dashboard, keep your team engaged by drawing their attention to it and use it as a motivational focal point. And when the numbers are lagging, huddle together virtually and solve that problem. And when the numbers improve, congratulate your team and celebrate their accomplishments. And with that, I will turn it back over to Erin for her recap.
Thanks, Lori. And may I just say, I have been practicing my bingo skills all week and am very excited for tonight. As much as you can have bingo skills, I guess. Just kind of summarizing some tips on managing and motivating remote teams. First off, make sure you're identifying and selecting the right tools that will work for your team. Whenever possible, use video to really continue to establish that person-to-person connection. Create a communication strategy for your team. Over-communicate. Build trust within your team. It's really important to recognize and reward employees, not just your direct team, but also perhaps others that you work with on a regular basis. Encourage camaraderie and friendships, whether that be through virtual happy hours or just something fun to throw in during the week. And finally, during these crazy times, remember to continue to focus on outcomes. All right, Lori, if you wouldn't mind just advancing one more, thank you. We will move right into questions. So thank you everyone who submitted questions. All right. Lori, what do I do if